Hello, Stamper. Welcome to Frenchie's video. I'm France Martin, independent demonstrator with Stamping Up at frenchiestamps.com. Today, I'm going to share some tip with the new embossing folder. I call it the Texas style because they're very, very big compared to the other folder we got. See, this was like the 6x6 about. See the difference? And then the other side, see, we fit almost two, almost, not quite, but very, very close, right? So they measure 6 by 8.5. And I bet many gonna say, why so big? And I'm sure we're gonna come up with many things to do. And also, if you do maybe scrapbook, you want bigger. The so swirly, it's the thinner one, so it's not what I'm looking for, a 3D one. Then this swirly one, that one, it's a 3D. And I had it right here. It must, oh, it's under here. So this one, it's a 3D. So I'm going to share tips with that. First, I'm going to emboss this one. And so when it's not a 3D embossing folder, then you want to have two clear plates. So we're going to go ahead and put this over here. And this is a not a quarter, but half sheet. You're going to see it's go all the way in, but it's not as wide. I could do 6, but if we do card, usually it's half sheet, then there's your 5.5 by 8.5. So for the so swirly, like I said, it's not a 3D one. We put two clear plate in between, and you want to make sure that it don't pass the side of your machine. I'm already cockeyed there. I'm running this sideways, so it's kind of tricky. Now, for some reason, it feels very, oh, I know why. Let me go back here. And, okay, I got plate one. I want to make sure, and this one, it's very bow. Let me use another one. That's going to help. And you want to make sure that they're all together. And you want to make sure it's equal to your plate because it's the same size. It's not smaller or so on. Okay. Now, much better. The other one was very bowed up, okay? So keep that in mind. Okay, now I'm going to remove that. Now, for the other one, this is a 3D, meaning it's those thicker one. We're going to use the number 4 plate when it comes to a 3D embossing folder, and just platform number 1, and then we're going to roll. And they are kind of tight because it's the full width and so on. Okay, now when it comes to cards, I had to play with it a little bit here. So I wanted this to be in the center. Let me show you a card. I already glued this one, but I wanted my circle about the same, the top, the bottom, each side. So here is my tip. If you put a layer on it, and depending the layer, doesn't matter which one it is, you want to find this, doesn't matter the size. You want to find the center. So for this layer, it's 4 by 5.5. Again, you're going to use a scrap paper, the same size, 4 by 5.5, fold it in two, fold it back in two. So if you would have 3 by 5, you're going to do your scrap paper 3 by 5. That's it. Now, I suggest using a pencil. So then if you don't put nothing in the center, you can erase it. I got a pen here. I'm just going to do a little dot in my center. Now, you're going to take this. So the side that you see the Stampin' Up, that's the side that it's going to emboss, meaning that it's going to be the raised up. In the back, that's the deboss. That means it's the back of it. So if you don't have an image, it don't matter because you can flip your paper, right? And so I'm going to come and put my paper, and I'm going to look where my center is, right here. And that, I'm going to align that right in, you know what, I think I get a white here. You can see better. 1 minute. Get a chalk marker here. We're going to be able to see. Here we go. You can see that now, right? It's going to be better for the video. Okay. We're going to take this, and you can always do that in the back too. So meaning that, let's see, this is my back. I'm going to use the deboss. You can go in the back and put it in the center. So it doesn't matter the color you use, but the color that you can see. And you're going to try to align that right in the center of this. So now that look pretty much in the center, and you can see those tips. It looked very equally. Now we're going to close this and then roll it through. Again, the inch where it close, that it's attached, it want to go first, and the opening at the last. If not, here it can push the top more and it's going to damage your plate. Now we're going to put that here because of the size. You don't want it to pass, so make sure it's all sideways there. This one went very smooth, so I was very equally on it. Okay, now let me remove this and let me show you some tips with this. As I mentioned, this one here, it's exactly half a sheet. So I can have the front and the back really embossed, see? So then I would put something inside, a layer inside, so I can stamp on it, I can decorate the front and such, and voila. It's all embossed because it's exactly half a sheet. Now to crank it up a notch, we're going to take this one here and I'm going to use my score. I tried different size, and the size I'm sharing today, it's my favorite one to do this here. It's going to be a 1/4 inch smaller than a regular card, but when you put that in the envelope, nobody going to notice except if they measure. My best thing is to score at 1 3/4. And by the way, I don't know, you can see how deep this is, right? So it's very deep. I'm going to go at 1 3/4 and score. Flip it around. See, you barely see it. 1 3/4 and score. I'm going on both sides because it's so deep that it barely go. Another thing you could do is take your bone. Oh, this don't fit there. What did I use that was smaller? Well, maybe I know what I did. I use my scissors, but went softly. You want to go softly. Like I said, it's very deep. Okay, so that was 1 3/4. Now we're going to go at 5 3/4. 5 3/4. It's just that your scoreboard blade almost don't go there. You can take your Simply Score. You know what? That's even better. Let me flip this. I don't know why I didn't think about that now. So we're going to take our Simply Score. You're going to score this at 1 3/4 and then 5 3/4. Flip it around. 5 3/4 and 1 3/4. So now I know that is the best thing to do. Absolutely. Now you're going to fold this and you're going to fold this here. It overlapped just a 1/4 inch, so it would make a very lovely purse. I will finish it after the video. What I mean by a lovely little purse, I can put my ribbon. I just going to put 2 little holes there, and then I can put a greeting here when you open it up. And again, inside, I'm going to put, over here. If, whoops. Oh, so this gonna, it's 4. So I would go at 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. I had my quarter sheet done here in advance for regular size. Et voila. So now you get a cute little purse. So you can do, or you can use it just as a card to folding this way. It can be a card that open this way. Voila. It don't have to be a purse. I'm just thinking a purse. So I'm going to finish some card like that. I was just thinking this would make a lovely purse. So now you see with the big one. Now we're going to go back at what we just did here. And you see it's very equally, right? I mean, I'm off a little bit, but very, very little. So that's the best way to find your center to put your mark. Now, let's say you decide that you're like, oh, I don't want to use the full sheet. I want to cut in a strip and let's say put it this way. I did this card and this card here I was planning to do. Now, with, I had another piece of the, here it is. So this one here, if you want to cut with it, I suggest that you do your strip and then emboss. And I'm going to show you why. If you cut this in half, let's say I'm going to cut this in half because it's so raised up. First of all, I would say go on the deboss side, much better on the deboss side. But it's still, it's going to kind of just rip. It's just because it's so, the embossed part, it's so raised up. It cut, but we get a lot of straggles. I don't know if you can see that. So I changed my blade, so it's not just about the blade. So it would be better if you want just little strip to do your strip and then emboss. So I hope I help you with these big ones. So again, the So Swirly, this is a regular embossing. So you use number 1 and 2 clear plate, and it's very tight. Remember that. It's the same width, the same length than the regular plate. So make sure it's straight. The So Swirly, it's a 3D, and not so swirly, but the dotted circle, it's a 3D. So that one, it's the number 4 with the number 1. So I hope this helped you. Just go to my blog right below. I'm going to have these cards, and down the road, I will finish something with this here. Thank you so much for joining me. Till next time, happy stamping, my friend. Bye-bye for now.